You know, I didn't think I'd make a video on this, but then I thought again, you know, it's good CS storylines, right? It's good stuff for the future, and it's historical material for someone like Jimmy Boy, otherwise known as Jimpphat. What is up, peeps? Welcome back to more CS news. Today we're talking about the Gooning allegations, as Mouse has now won their first major LAN in just around 9 months. And of course, with their new lineup, things are looking up for the future. But before this run even began, things were, I guess, in some essence, looking up for someone like Jim, who was spotted on Twitter accidentally reposting some stuff that is of adult nature. Let's put it lightly like that. Even sparking a response from Jim himself on Twitter saying, hey, you got to get those numbers up. This dude was exposed for something that in most cases would get you some ridicule, and he turned it around into a joke that the entire counterstrike community has now fully embraced. If that doesn't make you feel loved, Jim, I don't know what will. And this went all the way down, by the way. Even Machine had referenced this on the casting desk. Even someone like Banks in the post interview after Mao's one collusion of Poca had mentioned this. Like, Jimmy Boy was blasting his way all the way to a grand finals and all the way to a championship. You really can't make up storylines like this. You really can't.
Let's go scoreline here and now.
Aita! What is that? What is that?
Now that's a weird fanfic right there.
All right, bro. Come on, man.
Jimmy would watch it.
Oh!
You were gooning all the way to the grand finals, and now you're gooning all the way to the trophy.
Exactly. I blasted all the way through.
And so for anyone curious, for anyone searching for it, that is what the Jimpphat Gooning allegations were, all right? And it led them to their first major title in a long time. So I don't know where this goes from here. I don't know if we'll see future jokes about this, but you don't see this very often in games out there. So I felt like I needed to share with all of you guys some other things to share, though. Speaking of things that maybe could have been gotten you some bans or some suspensions or fines in other games out there, this is FaZe Rain. It was actually against Falcons. I had missed this previously, so shouts to Reddit for catching these great moments out there. Didn't even catch it. After a 1v2 clutch, he gave Kixon a little tea.
Nico swinging, Nico's rapping, he's on a timer here. Kixon's just playing to live. Knows he has to round this corner just to survive. Oh. And from behind, Nico strikes, bombs on its way.
Rain's still got a chance and knows he can accelerate into the AK.
Thank you very much.
Good
nice.
with the taps himself.
Got the Kalashnikov and just rounding that corner in time for a head-to-head with Nico. Can't nail it, does so in the third.
Safe plan.
Yeah, Kixon, what have you got? Rain ready. Ooh, doesn't hit the first. Turns the flash, progressing in. Kixon now faking him out. He's ready for this angle. Oh, Rain! Phenomenal adjustment. He twists, I shouts. That's a big round for FaZe.
Beautiful from Rain. Even goes back to pick up the AWP. Got more than enough time. And good with the taps, right? This is the player who can do it with absolutely everything. Aim on point. It was the Deagle over towards the B site. He takes down Tessus on the lurk. Strung out in individual fights were the Falcons. All 3 rounds that FaZe have so far are not in the full buy variety. It's the pistol round, sure, that was crazy. And then it's rounds with saved guns. So Carrigan gets one back, throws the round into disarray. Time to connect. And this one, it looks wobbly, doesn't it? But Kixon plays for the fight. And Rain sits him on his ass. He even gives him a teabag for good measure.
Yeah,
that's it. No, I feel the same. Look, you could have gone towards Shaw.
You backed yourself.
Exactly.
And the great part about this is when you first see the replay and you see him smirk, you're like, yeah, that's when he did it. That's when he did it. And of course, we saw the replay follow up. I love kind of sharing those moments. It reminds me of some good trash talk, some good lighthearted BMs out there. As we discussed earlier this year, we want more trash talk. We want more rivalries. Of course, Falcons go on to make a grand final appearance, and FaZe go on to place 4th to Astralis in the 3rd place decider match. But FaZe Rain, that is why we love you. And speaking of some last news out there, guys, and some big money fights for someone like PashaBiceps. In case you guys have been under a rock, yes, he does get these weird transports to these majors, whether it's biking, whether it's flying, whether it's doing both at the same time. But PashaBiceps has been involved in the mixed martial arts for a long time now, has done at least a couple of fights, and a few of which were heavily broadcasted. It was actually in a recent interview with Zeus, or a stream with Zeus, where he talked about the payment for each of these fights. And he's making at least $250,000 per fight, which is a lot more than normal fighters do with the similar experience. Crazy.
Per one fight with everything, you know, like with money from pay-per-view and how much pay me organization, it's around $250,000.
Получается, с одного турнира можно...
So it just goes to show you when you have the presence of Pasha. I don't know how these leagues operate either when it comes to splits for fighters, but I imagine he's doing pretty well compared to those who are also just getting into MMA or only a few fights in. But you also got to keep in mind what he does is it's not like the UFC. Obviously, UFC is still crazy. People come away looking bloodied and battered. But I think Pasha, at one point, I remember him talking about one of his opponents or even himself, like dislocating an eye from the socket. It was nasty work for 250K. Obviously, still a gigantic bag, and we love seeing Pasha getting paid. But he's going in there. They're putting their lives on the line. So don't catch me doing that. I also wouldn't get $250,000. But can you imagine what PashaBiceps would do to me in a ring? Like that the thought just terrifies me. That's how I know I'm not built for fighting. So till next time, hope you guys all enjoy a short little CS news piece. I just really wanted to talk about Jim today. If I'm being honest, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I need a video. Let's talk about Jim. Till next time, take care of yourselves, guys. My coffee is actually over there. But I got some things planned, all right? We're getting this set redesigned eventually. I got some things planned. That's all I can tell you guys, all right? Take care. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.